Well. Dirty Donna Brazile, the disgraced former DNC chairwoman and moderator of the third presidential debate, has finally confessed her sins and admitted to sharing debate questions with the Clinton campaign ahead of the debate. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. That's a spiritual freedom. Her human flesh and conscience will still have to live with this for the rest of her life. But Donna, now that you've confessed your sins to the public, you need to go get right with God and confess your sins to Him. In an essay written for Time, Brazile recounts how the DNC was hacked during her tenure as interim chair and eventually admits guilt. When I was asked last July to step in temporarily as DNC chair, she explained, I knew things were amiss. The DNC had been hacked, and thousands of staff emails and documents were plastered on various websites. Staff were harassed, morale suffered, and we lost weeks of planning. Donors were harassed, and fundraising fell off. Then in October, a subsequent release of emails revealed that among the many things I did in my role as Democratic operative and DNC vice chair, prior to assuming the interim DNC chair position, was to share potential town hall topics with the Clinton campaign. Wow. Remember last year, back in October 2016, Dirty Donna was adamant about not colluding with the Clinton camp, going so far and using God and her Christian faith to testify that when Megyn Kelly accused her of messaging the Clinton campaign on March 13th CNN debate. Brazile responded,
as a Christian woman, I understand persecution, but I will not sit here and be persecuted because your information is totally false. What you're telling the American people, Podesta's emails were stolen. You're so interested in talking about stolen.
So you deny it.
You're like a thief that want to bring into the night the things that you found that was in his gutter. I'm not. Let me just tell you what I said from day one.
CNN's Jake Tapper came out and said this was
record, and I'll say it on the record, and I'll keep saying it on the record. I am not going to try to validate falsified information. I have my documents. I have my files. Thank God I have not had my personal emails ripped off from me and stolen and given to some criminals to come back altered. I have my records. I have my files. And as I've said repeatedly, CNN, in the 14 years I was associated with CNN, I've never received anything. If I had a blank...
Did you hear that? She said, thank God I have not had my personal emails ripped off from me and stolen and given to some criminals to come back altered. That's actually exactly right. A little Freudian slip. The questions came back unaltered, word for word as you typed it, before passing it on to the Clintons. Now, you say, sending those emails was a mistake I will forever regret. There's no doubt about that. Not only did you lie to yourself and the public, you lied to God, and you lied to your country. You thought you could buy a little security in the murky, filthy waters of the Clinton war swamp. That maybe if you were an obedient servant to the goblins, that maybe they won't chew you up and spit you out, just like the rest of us. That maybe you'd have a room in their Elysium, off in the clouds, off into space, maybe on the moon somewhere, with your own servants eventually one day. Life extension technologies. She goes on to say, by stealing all the DNC's emails and then selectively releasing those few, the Russians made it look like I was in the tank for Secretary Clinton. Despite the strong public support I received from top Sanders campaign aides in the wake of these leaks, the media narrative played out just as the Russians had hoped, leaving Sanders supporters understandably angry and sowing division in our ranks. Oh my gosh. So to go and blame it on the Russians, wow. You have no idea what you've done. Maybe you do, I hope not, because it's sinister. But you were part of a deep state push to get the Clinton war machine back up and running in the White House, because this wasn't so much as making sure Hillary won as it was making sure Bernie lost. The self-proclaimed Democratic Socialist, as they like to call him. That's right, a Democratic Socialist, right here in America. He wanted to bring down the banks, up in the system. It might not have been perfect, but the United States people cannot be given any hope or idea that socialism might work. Our government has been rigging elections in foreign countries and staging coups for decades. You heard Trump. What, you think the United States is so innocent? We've been doing this for decades to prevent any kind of socialist rise, whether the people are ready or not. I mean, come on. Do you remember what happened back in 2008 with Occupy Wall Street? All that fervor, that anger, the movement against the banks and their global cartel, the banking elite, the cabal. The people were bringing it right to the private doorsteps on Wall Street. Imagine if that same energy was allowed to develop from not just on the streets, from the people, and not just in the government, but from the highest office in the world, the highest government office in the world. That would rock the foundation upon which our crony capitalist system is built, and that cannot be allowed to happen. They want to keep the money rolling and the wars going. So Clinton and the black demon that she is and the swamp she represents had to win. And Donna Brazile, you lent a helping hand. Now you want to push the Russian dog and pony show. It's business as usual. Even though we know from recent Vault 7 leaks that the CIA can perform hacks and make them look like another country did it. Like North Korea, for example, or China, or Russia. This may not be a series of hacks, but a series of leaks from brave men and women deep in intelligence, not wanting to pull a full-on Snowden, but trying to get the truth out there. Better for us to have the truth and think it's from the Russians, even though no evidence has been presented to prove this, than it is for us to not know the truth at all, or 50 years from now after a global technotronic takeover has been enacted. But folks, listen to this. This is where it gets interesting, because this time we have the truth fighting to come out, unaltered truth. It might hurt, but it will set us free in time. And the call of wisdom is trying to make herself heard. That's the spirit of these leaks. Shouting the truth, posting it on WikiLeaks. And they tried to hide it. They tried to hide and suppress the light. But as we move forward in time, the truth is starting to catch up to real time faster. No longer do we have to wait decades and years, because now we have the internet and computers. We're knowing the truth almost as soon as it happens. And this goes to not just Donna, but all of you. All of them. James Comey, Mike Rogers, Obama, Clinton, Trump, mainstream news. You should listen to this also. There's a special place in hell for those that not only reject the truth themselves, but also hinder others from finding the truth. And when this government, this country, begins to run on truth and operate by truth, then we will begin to experience that Star Trek future we've dreamed of. Life extension technology, clean unlimited energy, safe, cheap, autonomous transportation, true Americana and Renaissance. Donna Brazile, I'll leave you with a Christian warning to those that ignore the call of wisdom, found in Proverbs 1:20. Wisdom cries aloud in the street. In the markets she raises her voice. At the head of the noisy streets she cries out. In the entrance of the city gates she speaks. How long, O simple ones, will you love being simple? How long will scoffers delight in their scoffing, and fools hate knowledge? If you turn at my reproof, behold, I will pour out my spirit to you. I will make my words known to you. Because I have called and you refused to listen, have stretched out my hand and no one has heeded. Because you have ignored all my counsel and would have none of my reproof, I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when terror strikes you like a storm, and your calamity comes like a whirlwind. When distress and anguish come upon you, then they will call upon me, but I will not answer. They will seek me diligently, but will not find me, because they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord, would have none of my counsel, and despised all my reproof. Therefore they shall eat the fruit of their way, and have their fill of their own devices. For the simple are killed by their turning away, and the complacency of fools destroys them. But it ends in hope, and says, whoever listens to me will dwell secure and will be at ease without dread of disaster. Proverbs 1, verse 20 through 33. Leave your comments and ideas below about how we can move faster and with more trust as a country before we're out of options. Share this video and help get the truth out about this fake Russian narrative we're being made to sit through. In the meantime, stay vigilant, seek truth, and seize the day.